My loves, dream lady girlfriend away. We have culture, conversation, and community. And in today's video, I'm coming to y'all with a little something quick and impromptu. Girl, I'm over here scrolling on my phone, and I saw that Smokey Robinson was on the View like a couple days ago. If y'all don't know who Smokey Robinson is, which y'all probably will, because my demographic is mostly made up of women my age and older. So let me move this closer, cause girl, you're probably gonna hear all these cars in the background. It is what it is. And I'm trying to catch this little natural sunlight before it goes down over here, because I do not feel like bringing out any lights today. Get into it. We are having a real regular sit down conversation. So Smokey Robinson, blue eyes, light skinned man, you know, ooh, y'all did not need that, but I gave it to you anyway. He goes on to the Real, girl, not the Real. He goes on to the View, and he talks about how he does not like to be called an African American. And this is at first glance I was thinking, girl, that's because you light skinned man with blonde hair, or you know, blue eyes, and you're very fair skinned. But he goes on to say that, you know, he's traveled the world, although he's never been to Africa. That's one of the few places he hasn't traveled, which is telling in itself. I mean, like, he mentions Africa as if it is one country to visit. Like, sir, it's a continent. And I can just tell by his disposition with, you know, I've traveled the world and I've never been to Africa, as if it's like one stop, one size fits all. And he feels like when he is called African American, it takes away from his Americanness. He likes to be called a Black American. He goes on to say that you know, when you associate him to Africa, y'all see my locks showing? Look at this. I got the length on the locks, okay? That's what's up. Girl, I was this close to cutting my locks, and somebody was like, girl, your locks is dripping. I was like, whoop, never mind. So basically, he says that it doesn't align with the contributions that he has made as a Black American, because he is more American than he is African, which I can understand, because people who migrate to this country as real, I don't want to say real Africans, what I mean is coming from Nigeria. Okay, not stolen, not forced to come, you know what I mean? Like, they decided to migrate to the States, okay? Aren't they considered African American at some point? You know, and then we go into these whole titles and who's who and what's what. And I don't want this to come off as xenophobic, because I know that that's a huge thing, especially with, you know, it was just Africa Takeover Day at Howard University, and y'all was on Twitter grinding the Africans up, girl. But I am a Black person or African American person, however I decide to identify that day, because girl, we Black, we African American, you know, we the N-word to some of these white, but like, you know what I mean? Like, if I get pulled over, they're not like, ma'am, are you Nigerian or are you from Nebraska? They don't give a damn. They can look at me and tell that I am non-white. Okay? But I know that there's a lot of talk with this foundational Black Americans, with Tariq Nasheed and his whole cult-like following. So what I'll do here is I'm going to play a small clip of what Smokey mentioned.
Okay, see, I'm a person, I resent being called an African American. I really do. Now, I've traveled all over the world, and Africa is one of the few places in the world that I've never been yet, okay? But I think that when you do that, you're disclaiming all the things, all the contributions that Black people have made to America. You see, I consider myself to be a Black American, and I enjoy being called Black. And Black has been so negativized as a color down throughout history by those who wanted to negativize it. And so it spilled over into the Black community, into the Black people.
So, I mean, honestly, like I said, at first I was like, girl, what is he doing? He's trying it right now. But I can understand and I see how he may feel like, you know, I identify more as an American. I come from the ideology of, I feel most comfortable being or identifying as a Pan-Africanist. Basically, anybody who is of African descent. I see myself in that person somehow or another, whether you were from the Caribbean, whether you're from Central America, South America, anywhere in this world, you can go and you're going to find someone who looks like me, you're going to find someone who looks like you, and under that umbrella should be a camaraderie because we look alike. Okay, we're going to have a similar experience, whether we might have different cultures. That sounded weird when I said it, but y'all get my point. I might speak a different language, you might speak several languages, but we all are from the main continent of Africa. Think Marcus Garvey, think Dr. Umar. There are a lot of Black people who don't subscribe to this whole, like, they don't feel a necessary connection to Africa. Okay, and in the poem that Smokey Robinson is most known for, he talks about how the people who fought, our black ancestors who fought in the world wars and the Civil War and this of that nature, they weren't fighting for Timbuktu, they weren't fighting for Kenya, they were fighting for Mississippi, Alabama. This is why we see, like, you know, some people who repatriate to Ghana or to you know, Nigeria. Most people go to Ghana, not Nigeria, because of the population. But, and by that I mean go back to Africa, go back to their own home country. And some people don't subscribe to that at all. They're like, girl, my family is from here. We're from New Orleans. We're from California. We're from Mississippi. This is where I'm from. And this is my country. Because there's a lot of social unrest and there's a lot of just inequalities, injustices that happen to Black people. I'm curious to know, are you one of those people who feel like, I want to get up out of here and go back to a country where we are the majority, okay? We're not the minority. Or you feel like, nah, this is my land and I want to be here. I think this is a conversation worth having because I'm curious to know how you all feel about this. How do you subscribe? Are you Black? Because being Black is way different than being African, meaning like from Africa literally and decided to come here, African American. Those are two different experiences altogether. And dare I say, I know a lot of people ain't gonna like it, but dare I say, like, there's a certain type of elitism that happens when you have African immigrants who come to the States versus like the Black experience. They kind of look down at you through your nose because it's not the same. We don't have the same experiences. Although we may look the same, although we may experience white people the same way, it's just simply not the same. And I'm curious to know what you all think. Just drop down in the comments and let me know, do you identify as Black or African American? And I would like to know your reasons why or why not. I'm gonna go ahead and just say that I do typically say I'm Black. Smokey talked on like the condemnation of the term Black and why everybody didn't want to associate with being Black, and I'm not Black, I'm blah blah blah, you know what I mean, I'm African American. After that whole I'm Black and I'm proud movement, people got away from calling themselves Black. First it was nigger, you know, maybe barely that, then it was Negro, then it was possibly colored, then it was I'm Black, then it was African American. And now it's like we have the choice to determine who we are and what we like to identify as. So just out of, you know, shits and giggle and just out of a curious heart, I would like to know if this conversation at all applies to you, because it may or may not. You know, not everybody who subscribes to the channel is Black. You get what I'm saying? You might just be a person of color. I like to hear from those people too. Like, do you in your mind, do you distinguish a difference of whether this person is Black or African American? Probably not, but I still like to, you know, hear what you all think. Y'all, just real quick popping in, hey, happy Monday. It's like, nah, as always, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. It helps on the YouTube algorithm, girl. I really appreciate you. Consider subscribing if you're new here. As always, I'm sending you much love and much light, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.